Welcome back to the Daily Taoist with Will Nemo. We are talking about the Tao Te Ching and how to get back into spirit and alignment with the way. After a long hiatus, I have decided to come back and continue on my journey with you for the second half of the 81 verses. Starting with the 41st verse. A great scholar hears of the Tao and begins diligent practice. A middling scholar hears of the Tao and retains some and loses some. An inferior scholar hears of the Tao and roars with ridicule. Without that laugh, it would not be the Tao. So there are constructive ways of sayings on this. The way of illumination seems dark. Going forward seems like retreat. The easy way seems hard. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True clarity seems obscure. The greatest art seems unsophisticated. The greatest love seems indifferent. And the greatest wisdom seems childish. The Tao is hidden and nameless, and the Tao alone nourishes and brings everything to fulfillment. Living beyond appearances. In this verse of the Tao Te Ching influenced Wayne Dyer's choice of the title of the book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. By changing your thoughts so that they harmonize with the Tao, you see that what you've called reality is in fact an outward form, an appearance only. In the very beginning, your new way of regarding oneness is clouded by your old ego-inspired habits. What you've been accustomed to still resonates within you as real, and your Tao-inspired world may not be consistently recognizable. But you will begin to look beyond what seems to be your truth and move into a direct experience of the Tao, uncluttered by your previously limited views. Reread the first section of this 41st verse of the Tao Te Ching and notice your response. Ask yourself whether you are a great, a middling, or inferior scholar when it comes to understanding and applying the wisdom of the Tao. For example, I can unabashedly proclaim myself a great scholar after many years spent studying and writing, and the more I have studied, the more diligently I have practiced. I have become highly attuned to the infinite variety of daily opportunities to employ the principles of the Tao. As you examine your own thoughts, you may discover an aspect of yourself that wants to learn how to utilize these ancient teachings. Thus, you can move from being a person who knew very little about the Tao and might even have ridiculed it to becoming a great scholar. The application of the Tao each day determines the greatness of the scholar, rather than whether he or she intellectually understands these paradoxical sounding concepts. Lao-Tzu points out that without the ridiculing laughter of inferior scholars, the Tao could not even exist. Talk about a paradoxical concept. In A Warrior Blends with Life, a Modern Tao, Michael Latorre comments on this 41st verse. The way is only attractive to those who are already wise enough to know how foolish they are. Sarcastic laughter from other fools who believe themselves wise does not deter the truly wise from following the way. Following the way, they do not become complicated, extraordinary, and prominent. Rather, they become simple, ordinary, and subtle. As you elect to live the Tao each day, what you experience within and around you will be different from what it appears to be. You will go all the way beyond surfaces into the blissful world of the Tao, and it is vital that you choose to stay in the truth, regardless of how it all seems. Others will make fun of you, but remember the paradox that is, without that ridiculing laughter, it would not be the Tao. You'll experience times of darkness, but your new vision will eventually illuminate your inner world. And when it seems as though you're moving backwards, remember that the Tao is hidden and nameless. If it was knocking at your door or readily accessible like a pill to swallow, it would not be the Tao. So when life looks difficult, stop and realize that you're only the one thought removed from being at peace. You'll know what Lao-Tzu meant when he said that the easy way seems hard and true power seems like weakness. You do not have to struggle or dominate others in order to feel strong. A person in the Tao sees the world quite differently, knowing that inner peace is power. Less effort is actually easier. Work gets done when you lighten up internally and let yourself be moved along by the ceaseless Tao, rather than setting goals or meeting standards set by others. Allow the Tao and see the purity and clarity that originates from this vantage point. The outward appearance of anyone or anything may appear tarnished, but a Tao view will remind you that the essential goodness is always there. It's hidden and nameless, though do not be so obsessed with finding and labeling it. In this way, you will become a great scholar who diligently works to live in harmony with the Tao, even though it remains obscure. Apply this same insight to the times when you feel unloved, when you see what appears to be indifferent. Know in your heart that love is present. The Tao is not concerned with proving its fidelity. It appears to be uninterested, but it is nevertheless always there, everywhere. As your thinking changes from a position dictated by your ego to one that transcends it, you will see an illuminated world that is truly inviting. Ego convinced you to see a cold and indifferent planet, while the ego-transcending Tao shines pure love to all that you are connected to. Allow it to work its magic in your life. This is what Lao-Tzu seems to be instructing as I sit here asking how I might serve those who read this book and listen to my podcast, The Daily Taoist. To be diligent. You are not an inferior scholar of the Tao if you're reading these words. If so, you are a middling scholar who retains some and loses some of this wisdom. Make a commitment to work towards greatness. Just practice a few of these insights each day. Be diligent about it. Set aside your inclination to be puzzled or argumentative, and allow yourself the freedom to be persistent as a practitioner. Even a small thing such as an affirmation or a rereading of the verse each day will put you on the path of living according to the Great Way. Lao-Tzu simply says to live it by zealously practicing these insights. Here are some lines from Walt Whitman to remind you that you are not what you appear to be. Oh, I sing such grandeurs and glories about you. You have not known what you are. You have slumbered upon yourself all your life. Your eyelids have been the same as closed most of the time. Whoever you are, claim your own at any hazard. These shows of the East and West are tame compared to you. These immense meadows, these interminable rivers, you are immense and interminable as they. The Tao truth is unprovable in physical terms. Let go of your conditioned way of needing proof in the physical world before something becomes your truth. The Tao is hidden permanently and it cannot be named, so accept this as fact. You are not going to find it in a material form. It has no boundaries, and the moment you try to name it, you have lost it. See the first verse. Just as modern scientists must accept the fact that quantum particles originate in waves of formless energy or spirit, without ever seeing that ever infinite, all creating field, so too can you let go of your need to see and touch the Tao before you can believe it. By changing the way you look at the world, you will see a realm beyond the appearance of darkness, difficulty, weakness, indifference, and death. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke observed, behind the world our names enclose is the nameless, our true archetype and home. Do the Tao now. Spend an hour with a child today, taking note of how much wisdom is embodied in what appears to be juvenile behavior and beliefs. Notice his or her fascination with seemingly insignificant items, repeating the same senseless phrase, tantrums or laughter. Jot down your impressions of the wisdom behind so-called childless impulses and vow to be a kid again as frequently as possible. Thanks for listening, guys. As I come back into the Tao myself, after taking somewhat of a break, close to half a year now, the Tao was always with me during this past 6 months or so. But due to my own health and living situation, I just wasn't able to do a regular podcast. Now that I'm back and I'm feeling better, I'm going to try to be more regular, at least weekly or bi-weekly episodes of this podcast. I feel it's necessary to get this information out to the public. And in that vein, please like and subscribe on your favorite platform, at Will Nemo, all truths only, on all platforms, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I really don't do Instagram or TikTok, but I do have handles, all truths only, at both. I also have a Substack at the Daily Taoist, which I would recommend having a read and a subscribe to. I will put all the information and links in the bottom of the podcast. Yeah, so just be diligent. Like I said, I don't ever say that I'm the best or I'm a master of anything. I have studied the Tao Te Ching over 8 years. I have practiced it quite religiously, especially the last 5 years. But I still consider myself a middling scholar as I keep practicing and getting better. And as I've passed my 35th birthday this past October, I feel I've grown wiser. I have more to share, and that is going to be coming out through my podcast, through my essays. Again, if you really want to support the work, again, look up Will Nemo, All Truths Only, the Doomer Bloomer podcast, as well as Yukon Gold and the Daily Taoist. And I think we can make something really great here if we all work together towards a common goal to 2030. I feel positive about the next 5 years. I've transitioned my career. I'm transitioning my career. And it can't really happen without you guys. Me just talking into a microphone, that's one thing. But a community of like-minded people makes the difference. I have a school community as well, the All Truths Only Mastermind, which is free to join, and more than welcome to come along for the ride. There's not a whole lot I can think of right now. I love each and every one of you on the Mandelbrot universe in which we live. Be kind to the kind and be kind to the unkind, even when it doesn't seem like it's the right thing to do. All aggression needs to be met with kindness. Peace from Will Nemo, aka the Daily Taoist. Cheers.